Attention!
Welcome to the Film Mages Podcast, where the popcorn is our ammunition, the couch is our foxhole, and the cinema is our place of worship.
Now let me see your war face. Ah!
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Alexis, is that working for you?
Good morning. Yeah.
Yeah, look
Please
at
tell me
that.
this isn't how we're starting the fucking episode.
Buddy,
that's awful.
I hate to tell you this, but it's already happened.
Oh, good God.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
It's the Film Majors.
It is the Film Majors.
We're back on the airwaves. It's Zach. And it's only him. He's the only one there. He's the only one who's going to talk. And you know what? That's the way he likes it.
No one acknowledged.
Yeah.
I'm Mick. Hello, everybody.
Tip of the morning to ya. I'm Alexis.
Tip of the morning?
Tip of the morning.
Oh.
Hey, are you ready? Just the tip.
And, we got a special guest with us today. We got America's very own special boy.
Emphasis on the special.
He works in casting, and he tells me he's a filmmaker. I don't know about that one, but we'll see. Who is it?
Me either. It's Drew!
Oh my God!
Hi,
Hello, Drew. How are
Drew
you?
Patterson.
Wow.
He's with us today. Drew, what do you do? What's your deal?
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Explain yourself. Who are you?
I don't know. You nailed it. I'm 27, working casting, and I'm a filmmaker, trying to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What films do you
No
make,
thanks
Drew?
to Zach. No thanks to Zach.
Hey, fuck you. It's largely thanks to me,
It
you
is largely
motherfucker.
thanks to Zach. Yeah.
So, Drew, what films have you worked on? What are your projects? I'm giving you a chance to plug yourself up top.
Oh my God. No,
Do it
making
right,
excuse me.
Do it right now.
Nice. I didn't expect to do this. Tip of the episode.
Tip of the episode.
I am making a feature film in the fall called American Flake, and it's a hangout movie, and Zach's in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Let's go. Wait, hold on. What's it called?
It's called American Flake.
American Flake.
Wow.
Oh,
It's about a small town drug dealer whose mom dies, and he avoids grieving her death by going on a quest for a lost bag of chips.
Wow.
Hell
A
yeah.
quest, like nose nachos or like actual nachos?
Actual potato chips.
Wow,
Called the
interesting.
brand of the potato chips are American Flake.
Interesting.
I love
Wow.
that. I would do that.
Double end. Right?
I would quest. I would
do
quest
that.
for some potato chips for sure.
Right?
Yes,
Okay, Drew.
that's all relatable.
So, follow-up question.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, it's 9 a.m. on a Sunday.
You goddamn right. Now we're in our famous segment, What's
That's
Going
right.
On?
What's going on?
Technically,
Yeah.
this is the house of worship because we're here Sunday morning, the day of our Lord.
Yeah,
Martin
this is
Scorsese.
the earliest we've ever recorded.
Is it?
I think so. I don't think
think
we've
so.
recorded. Yeah, it's like 9:30.
Which isn't even that early.
Yeah.
But it feels early.
Fuck
Sunday.
off.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
I can't
None of
believe
us go
there's
to
sun
church.
in my room at this hour of the day.
You can't believe there's sun in your room ever.
Ever, yeah.
You're a troll.
Every shine of light is an insult.
I have blackout curtains for a reason, you know?
Yeah, it's because you like to lurk. It's
Yes.
because you're harmed by the sun's rays, like some
Very-
sort of a
very vampiric.
Dracul.
Yes, very vampiric.
So Drew, you seen any movies lately? You been watching any films?
Oh my God, I've been watching so many films.
Well, tell me a film that you've
Yeah,
seen
let's
recently.
dive in.
Recently, oh my
Yeah.
God, okay, a film I saw recently. I just rewatched the original Indiana Jones movies, but I won't go into that
tight.
because Zach's going to be really upset.
You
No,
better not.
no, hold on. Let's absolutely
Make
go
him
into it.
upset.
So
You're
you
a
recently
fucking
just
sick
watched.
Guy. You're a fucking sick
I just
guy.
watched the original 3 again because my
Okay.
buddy had never seen them.
Nice.
And my favorite from childhood was Temple of Doom. Mm-hmm. And upon a rewatch, I kind of expected to lean where Zach and everybody else leans, which is
Right.
that Raiders and Crusade are better.
Right.
And I didn't at all. I think Temple of Doom is still the best.
Really?
Because you have the mind of a child.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I realized watching these original 3?
What did you realize? Speak and play,
Was
child.
that each of the 3 feels like it's modeled after a different genre of movie. Like the first one feels like an old, like Gone with the Wind, like romance, Hollywood drama romance from like
Right.
the 30s. And then the second one's like a schlocky B horror movie. And then the third is like a James Bond movie, it feels like.
See, that's how I feel about Temple of Doom a little bit.
Yeah.
With the Bond type.
Oh, interesting.
I mean,
when he's in
it
his
does
suit.
have the Bond opening.
Totally, yeah.
Great opening.
Yeah.
Crazy opening.
I really enjoyed that opening.
That movie just has no lulls to me, you know?
Yeah.
There's some lulls for me.
You just don't like the racism.
Yeah, but I think it's also kind of dull. There's like... It doesn't really pick up until we...
Just thinking about what I just said.
Yeah, hold on. Why do I need to justify myself on that?
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck?
I love how you immediately it's like, well, hear me out.
Jesus.
No, I will say though that nothing beats the Last Crusade moment where like Indy's dad is trying to pull him up and he's like, you gotta let the Grail go, you know, and they have the whole like, still the best moment I think of all of it.
Yeah.
How's your relationship with your dad?
My relationship with my dad is bad, and I would have loved him to tell me to let it go
Wait,
when I
is
was
it?
reaching for the Grail a couple years ago. But I didn't, and I got that Grail,
And here
what
you are.
and I'm eternal now.
Oh, God. Really? Well, those are some interesting takes, Drew. Those are some interesting thoughts you got there. You see any new films? You see anything new?
I did. I saw Barbie yesterday.
Oh.
Ooh.
Anybody else here
Alexis,
seen
you
Barbie?
watched Barbie now, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Lukewarm on it, or like what'd you feel? How'd you feel?
Tip of the morning to you.
Okay. It's top of the morning too, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
No, it is.
But that's the joke. That's
Just
the joke.
the tip of the morning. Don't get to the shaft of the morning now.
I feel like
You
my
just
eyes won't
want the
open. But I saw Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Oh, so let's talk about Barbie first, because Drew hasn't seen Oppenheimer yet.
Boo. Okay, good.
I know. I'm seeing it today. I know. I've heard it's the
It's
better.
okay. He's a rat, Alexis, and you can't trust him.
Template is better.
I'm gonna pour acid in your eyes.
Alexis,
What?
did you see Barbie?
I did, and I dressed up, and it was fabulous. I even
Oh, fantastic.
I even got my sister to do a schlocky little video with me.
Nice.
Oh, amazing. So
Yeah.
so we've all seen Barbie. What do we all think? Drew, what did you think of Barbie?
I adored it. I loved it way more than I thought I would.
Really?
I was, aside from like a little sequence in the middle, I thought it was like near perfect, and I felt like modern classic vibes.
What was
off
the
that.
sequence in the middle?
It was when they were trying to get all the Kens, like all the Barbies away from the Kens to kind of execute their plan. That I kind of felt like the movie slowed down for like 10
Interesting.
minutes in a way that I was like, oh, the pacing feels a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
But then like how it ended with like the, oh my, and it was just hysterical. I mean, the like chorus of 20 young fathers, that line, the like, the woman's ghost having an office on the 17th floor.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought it was
Ruth.
hysterical.
Her line about when someone calls Barbie a fascist and she starts crying and she goes, "But I don't control the resources or the railway."
Or the flow of commerce. Yeah.
I don't control the railways or the flow of commerce. It really got me.
Loved it. And the fact that it would oscillate between hysterical moments like that and moments like the old lady at the bus stop where they have that moment.
Yeah.
I that movie just like made me cry at it like several times. And
You're
I found
beautiful.
it.
I know it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that was sweet.
I loved it. I don't know. I just thought it was fucking awesome.
She's
Interesting.
that woman's like a career, like long career costumer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Alexis, what'd you think?
Oh, I liked it. I would agree with Zach that I think of Greta Gerwig's movies. It's not my favorite. I think Little Women's still my favorite, but like the set
Yeah,
designs.
I agree.
Yeah, the set designs fucking incredible. I think I don't know if I felt like as connected to the movie. I really want to watch it a second time because I just want to see like how I feel about it like after that. But yeah. So I mean, I
Alexis-
really love the sequence with the Kens, the "I'm Just
The
Ken"
Ken Wars?
song. Yeah, with the song
incredible.
and then the fight sequence and then like they're all holding hands and a kumbaya bullshit. Love that.
But
Yeah.
you didn't love it, Alexis? It's not like your favorite at first.
Yeah, I really liked it. I wouldn't say that like on my first watch I was like, oh my god, I loved that so much.
So, Alexis, why do you hate women?
It's hard,
it
know,
is.
being one.
Pretty fucked up of you. Seems like you're not an ally. Seems like Drew's an ally.
I mean, I
agree.
feel like I've definitely like throughout the week since I've seen it, like I've been hearing things like in real life where I'm just like relating it back to like either America Ferrera's little monologue
At the end, yeah.
or Rhea Perlman, Ruth Handler's little thing where she says like when she says mothers stand still so that daughters can move forward. I think that was like the one moment where like I really felt like I feel like I might cry right now.
Yeah, that hit the hardest for me as well.
Yeah. So I think I want to watch it again so that I can maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I just want to watch it again. So that's my takeaway.
Okay.
I could
For sure. So
I'd be down to watch it again as well because I liked it, but not all the jokes landed for me. But I agree that the whole Ken Wars battle like musical number was hands down my favorite.
I have listened
so
to
good.
I'm Just Ken so many
That's
times.
a good song.
It's like an
this,
embarrassing number.
It's like
of
this
times.
nostalgic 80s rock anthem.
Yeah.
Man, you don't get that shit anymore.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Something that kind of annoyed me, though, and I don't know what I was expecting, but obviously, okay, it's a Barbie movie, so it's advertising Mattel product, right? This seemed like Greta Gerwig's Transformers to me, because it's like half a toy commercial and the other half is a car commercial. I don't know if you noticed, but there's so much
I
like
agree.
brand new Chevy SUV shots in it. Like the whole downtown chase sequence didn't really work for me. Once we get to Mattel headquarters, I kind of checked out just slightly. Because I'm also not a huge Will Ferrell fan.
Yeah.
I like some of his movies. But that, I don't know, it wasn't the Greta Gerwig movie I was expecting. I guess it's just because, I'm still such a big Little Women fan. But yeah, it was good.
I think it's because
Great.
I'm so used to her stories being like, well, obviously there's only been a couple, so like Lady Bird and Little Women, but I'm so used to the stories being like the type of stories that I specifically seek out, which are like character studies of like real people, and like it feels real. I don't know. This was so satirical. I think it just like kind of, I guess it maybe took me out of like feeling connected to it specifically, But there was definitely like moments that I really loved. But I was also very distracted by all the different people that were in this movie, like the people from like Sex Education and Insecure and like all these different. It was like between this and Oppenheimer, I just felt like it was playing a little game of Where's Waldo of like all these different people in these movies.
Yeah, it did kind of feel like they got like every single famous person to be in 2 movies on one weekend.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've seen a few new releases that I'd like to dig into a little bit.
Okay.
I saw Theater Camp and I saw Talk to Me in theaters this week.
And?
They were both all right.
Both all
I don't
right.
know. I think I maybe liked Theater Camp slightly more, which I was not expecting. Talk to Me is the new horror movie from this directing team called Raka Raka. Raka Raka.
I've been hearing about it all over
it.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Why do you laugh about that? I
Hot
don't
off the
get it.
presses.
It is though. Shut up.
We're just not plugged into the youth culture.
The adults are talking now.
Old people.
Anyway, Zach, what did you think of Theater Camp?
Well,
Talk to me. Yeah, talk to me, Zach. What did you say? Alexis is going in about Tic Tacs and over here.
You want to ski? What was that?
God.
But yeah, Talk to Me. It's A24's horror release for the summer, and I was super excited for it.
I really love A24.
Well,
They make the best movies. Their movies look so good.
they direct so many good movies.
Oh my god.
Whoever A24 is a genius.
Gee willikers.
But generally, I feel like they pick up interesting horror projects, and this was not my favorite. I thought that it had some really interesting elements, and there's some really cool camera work in like the possession sequences, but it doesn't go off the rails in the third act the way I think it needs to. Like, it's very much in line with like a Hereditary, in that it's like a horror movie that's dealing in metaphor and trying to address an issue, but then it doesn't have like the big genre payoff at the end.
So you're saying the horror aspect kind of takes a back seat to the
Yeah,
the
it's
mission that they're on with the story.
Once the like thematic stuff is kind of wrapped up, and we kind of are like, okay, I get what this is about. There isn't then that like extra, punch of adrenaline at the end to really make it stick with you.
That's like my number one big movie sin, I think, over anything else is when theme like overtakes like
Yeah.
because it's like shut the fuck up.
It's-
Like,
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
No,
Sorry, coming on strong, but I do feel that way.
No, I tend to agree. Like, I came out of that movie and I was like, sometimes a horror movie can just be like, what if there was a guy that was really scary?
But you know what? Sometimes that works. Sometimes that's all you need.
Well, literally, like, my favorite horror movie of this year has not been, like, an indie release, of which I've seen a few. It's been Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah.
Like, that's the that's the horror movie in the theaters.
It's not heavy in plot. Like, you have some story, you have some family
there's, like,
elements,
some family theme. But, like, that's a movie where it's like, what if there were demons and they came into you and then they did some stuff that was really fucked up? What if there was goo? There was not enough goo in this movie. It was light on goo. It was bone dry.
It wasn't wet enough, right?
But no, there were a few wet moments that I really dug, though.
Interesting. I don't know if it's interesting, but
No, I would like to see these guys direct another movie because I do think they're talented.
Nice.
It's just, this was not super exciting for me. If you're a horror fan, check it out, but it's not great.
Okay.
Theater Camp was very fun. I was really happy to see Jimmy Tatro lead a movie.
I love him.
If you're a fan of American Vandal,
I am not.
Well,
But for personal reasons.
yeah, that's true.
Dog, me either.
Wait, you're not a fan of American
I think
Vandal?
the first episode or two are great, and then it loses the joke.
Yeah, see, I
you're a
couldn't
sick
finish
guy.
it.
You're a sick guy. You're sick in the head.
American Vandal is
Also
a
lead in-
I can
show.
only be like poopy, poopy, poopy for like so many minutes.
Oh,
fair.
buddy.
So if you don't know,
That's a skill
American
issue on your
Vandal
part.
is a TV show about this high schooler who basically gets framed for
Drawing dicks on cars.
Right. So in high school, I got framed for vandalizing the high school, and it legit was not me. There was a new kid that looked a lot like me, and they got him in like security cam and shit. Yet other students were ratting
It
me
was
out.
the one-armed man.
They even had the cops come in and inspect my hands for spray paint.
Why'd you do it, Mick?
I don't know. I wanted to put my mark, I had to do it. This
What
is
the
actually
fuck
me.
you doing?
This is me confessing on the air. That was
This is
me.
my confession, admissible in court.
Yeah, but that shit fucking pissed me off in high school. So watching American Vandal was a little triggering, which is a weird thing to say about a show like that.
Yeah, a show whose tagline was
Can you
it's a
repeat?
tag. What?
No,
Sorry,
the
can
listeners heard it.
No,
What?
but I want to hear it.
Huh?
What made you angry about the show? What was triggering?
The show is about a kid getting framed for vandalism, and Mick was also framed for vandalism.
Yes.
Okay, great.
There we go.
Delayed reaction
And we're all caught up.
and a slow motion replay.
And the reason that it came up is because Jimmy Tatro, who leads that show, is the lead of Theater Camp, which is a
Right.
movie that I saw this week.
I can't wait to see
Wow.
it.
Replay. Also, if you're an I Think You Should Leave fan, Patty Harrison is in it.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Very cool.
So, yeah, no, it was a good time in the movies.
Nice.
I will say, though, no child should be encouraged to be a theater kid. I was one. May God have mercy on my soul.
Yeah.
And as a culture, we should not be encouraging that.
We're all
And we
theater
should
kids
not,
here, right?
We should not
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
giving
Yeah.
theater kids things that make them feel good or seen or validated. And if you make the choice to become a theater kid, you should not be allowed to vote. And that's just, a public service announcement.
So from four bad people who were former theater kids.
Yeah, don't do what we did. Don't do what we did.
Yeah.
Don't do what we did.
May God have mercy on my soul.
Yeah. So is that all you saw?
I also watched They Cloned Tyrone
Oh,
on Netflix, which also, those were pretty much all of these were 3-star movies
All
for me.
serviceable, middle of the
And,
road.
Yeah, I was kind of excited for all of them, so I felt a little let down. But, John Boyega has, never been bad in the movie.
Totally.
And Jamie Foxx is having a lot of fun. So that's a movie that if you cut it down to 90 minutes, I would like it a lot more.
Nice.
But, yeah, that's what I watched.
Cool. Just very quickly, I know we mentioned because you haven't seen it yet, but I do want to talk about it just briefly, especially
Getting your
Alexis.
ops loved?
Yeah. So I finally saw Oppenheimer. I saw it twice now. Last night I saw it on the 70mm IMAX, which is apparently how it's supposed to be seen. And it was absolutely incredible. I don't want to get too much into it because I think you should go in like knowing as little as possible. But as I told Zach, it's one of the reasons I really like it is it's like Christopher Nolan's Lincoln. It's this big character study, this big historical sprawling epic that's just very contemplative and very dialogue heavy and pretty much casts all of the best living working actors today. They're all in it. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. It might be my favorite film of the summer. I think it usurped Mission Impossible.
Oh, Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Alexis,
and John Wick too. I gotta remember that one.
How do you feel about?
I fucking loved Oppenheimer. Fucking loved that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, I was all, God damn it, Nolan, out here knocking it out of the park once again, motherfucker.
Yeah. Do you prefer it to Dunkirk?
I might actually prefer it to Dunkirk, specifically because of, like, to me, it's kind of got this underlying message of you can't trust our fucking government. And I love movies that do that, you know? It's not really yeehaw America. It's really like, what the fuck, America?
What hath we wrought?
Yeah. And I'm here for that because, you know, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning is also kind of like, fuck America. Y'all suck.
America is the party.
Side note, when we get to my birthday, I want to have an entity party where I just kind of have like a big ominous circle up on the wall. And I'm like, you might say that this party is the party. Yeah, so I kind of want everyone to feel like paranoid and watched at my birthday.
Nice.
Wow.
But yeah, Alexis, that's great. I got to say something about Barbie, though, again. Something that was really fun is just dressing up. We all dressed up for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you, Drew?
I did not.
That's because Drew hates women.
Hate fun.
Drew gave this movie the highest rating of all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who enjoyed it the most.
It was my favorite of the year. So
Fuck you for not liking it.
But you know what
You
said
make me
earlier?
sick.
What did you say about what Barbie was somebody's? It was like somebody's.
Oh, like her Transformers?
Yeah, I almost felt like it was her Beau is Afraid. And I almost feel
Wow.
like there should be a
Whoa.
no, like which sounds insane. but
Let's chill out a little.
Barbie just needs to come.
Well,
let her come.
you know, now that you say that, and I think about the ending of the movie, maybe a little.
All right.
It felt like to me, and you guys should do a pod that's like filmmakers' third movies, because I feel like it was like everybody's third movie goes fucking nuts. Like even PTA, like Magnolia, it's like they have an identity crisis and they need to do everything in it.
That's kind of true, yeah. Because also Robert Eggers is The Northman kind of goes fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Like not in terms of like type of story, but just how fucking
Throwing
crazy
everything at the
visuals.
wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Like Barbie felt like it was more than just the story, which Beau was. It was like I don't know. It was trying to wrap a bunch of
I was thinking about Beau last night. I think I need to revisit that.
Yeah.
I think I really do because I think it might go higher in the ranking.
Same. All right. Any other Alexis?
Yeah, I have another side note about Barbie. I really loved Weird Barbie because I didn't play with a lot of Barbies, but the Barbies I did play with, I played with them hard, and I fucked up their hair,
Sure.
and I like took their legs apart.
Hell yeah.
So
you
like
had
there's
the
just
weird
like
Barbie.
naked Barbie. There was just like naked Barbies with like one leg in like the toy box, you know?
Hello.
I really enjoyed her line about
Bundy.
Jesus. I really enjoyed her line about Ken, where she's like, "I'd love to see what kind of flesh-colored lump he's packing down there."
Yeah, that was really funny. Oh god,
His misogyny tour, just learning about
Oh my
misogyny.
god! I mean,
man.
listen,
Yeah,
I talked
that was
about
so
this on
fun.
our last episode, but the Gauze, he's unreal
Oh, Ryan
in
Gosling.
that movie.
Yeah, he's so funny.
I
Yeah.
rewatched The Nice Guys this week, and that dude is one of our great comedic actors right now.
Yeah, I really can't wait to see what he does next. I really enjoyed him as Ken, as
Yeah.
one of many Kens. Yeah, hell yeah. Oh, I finally watched a movie that I should have seen when I was much younger, and I'm a little embarrassed because I'm an Oregon boy. Hell yeah! I finally watched Goonies.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I had never fucking seen that movie.
This is low-key kind of a good transition point to our big topic.
Yeah, actually it is. But yeah, I mean, I grew up on the Oregon coast, and that movie fucking takes place on the Oregon coast and shit. It was incredible. Also, little Sean Astin, that might be one of my favorite performances from him ever.
He's so cute.
It's awesome.
It's
so
incredible.
awesome.
He's adorable. He's also a good little actor. It's great. It's such a good time. Yeah, but I would have fucking loved seeing that movie as a kid. It got pirates in it and shit. No one told me that
It's
had
such a
pirates in
good
it.
kids movie because it scares you as a
incredible.
kid too. It's a little spooky. Yeah.
When they get to Sloth, I was like, God, if I had seen this
Sloth,
at the proper
the big
age,
fucker who's all
I
fucked
would,
up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have been like,
Closer or farther?
Closer.
I want you to get in there. I would have been terrified of that as a kid.
Yeah.
But it's such a good movie. I give that like 4.5 or 5 stars.
You know what that movie also has?
Huh.
Has a nice pair of pants in it.
Has a nice pair of pants in it.
I believe it has a nice pair of pants. It's got a nice, finely fitted pair of
Zach,
pants out of
couldn't-
Chicago, Illinois.
I couldn't see the pants because boys are fucking dark in here. Joey Pants, everybody.
Joe Pantoliano, Joey Pants.
Yeah, this is the only movie I've seen him in where he's not in a movie that's shot in Chicago, which is weird.
Well, The Matrix wasn't shot in Chicago,
Where'd
but it
they
is
shoot?
set in Chicago. They shot in Sydney.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else? Alexis?
I don't think so.
I did have my sister watch the first 20 minutes of Rogue Nation.
You're goddamn right.
And how'd that go?
Did he? He really hung off this airplane? Yes, Natalie, he really hung off this airplane. Really? Yes.
You're doing the Lord's work, Alexis.
I
Excellent.
really
Thank you for that.
am. Slowly but surely, I'm making it happen for the rest of us.
We're just trying to expose this girl to culture.
Alexis is trying to put Natalie on cruise control.
Goddamn right.
She also
well,
thought
would
that
we
it
like
was hot,
to-
so whatever.
Ethan Hunt. Sometimes I just think about that fucker looks at you.
That's funny.
That's Solomon Lane.
Someone set that on replay.
Oh my god, that's supposed to be Solomon Lane.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Mr.
Yeah.
Hunt.
Hunt is a gambler.
Come, Mr. Hunt, we both know you enjoy
All right.
drinking just as much as I do.
You should have killed me when you had the chance.
Okay, let's cruise on out of what's going on. And we're back. We're back from what's going on. And Alexis, before we get into our big topic, you've got a great steaming hot take that you wanted to share.
Thank you. Yeah, so like after I saw Oppenheimer, I don't know, like a couple days later, I was like having this moment of like, interesting, because Oppenheimer is very much like, we don't know if our government can be trusted with this, but we know that the Nazis can't. And then fucking Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning is, no one can be trusted with this weapon. I must destroy it. And that's very punk rock of Ethan Hunt, personally. So
You're goddamn
very
right.
punk.
You're goddamn right.
He's so cool.
He's
so cool.
Hunt is a gambler. So, I know that we were just talking about some blockbusters, but it is no longer blockbuster month.
is it not?
No, we
it's
are
not.
done with blockbuster month, and
yeah.
we are into back to school month.
Yeah.
And for back to school month, we have our first big topic, which is what are some of our favorite hangout movies? And, You may be asking yourself, what is a hangout movie? But fortunately, I brought in another guest to come help us with that. So, hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Quentin Tarantino. I'm just so happy to see you guys. I'm so happy to be here with you guys, and I'd like to get right into it. So, there are certain movies that you can hang out with the characters so much that they actually become your friends. And that's a really rare quality to have in a film. And those movies are usually quite long because it actually takes that a lot of time to get past a movie character where you actually feel like you know the person and you like them. When it's over, they're your friends. How do you guys feel about that?
I think I saw mixed soul leave his body.
Movie in your life.
That's absolutely not true. I've made at least one very good hangout movie. Excuse you. Once upon a time in Hollywood, that's a hangout movie. We're hanging out with the characters. We're hanging out. We're getting to know them. It's long. Do you know how many feet of feet I shot for that feet? Fuck. I filmed a lot of feet. I fucked a lot of feet. I felt the feet. I fed the feet into the fuck.
At this point, I'm just I want to cut off my feet so that we don't have this problem anymore. I'll just take the nubs.
Yeah, but to kind of elaborate on what Quentin Tarantino said, this is from a New Yorker article that summarizes that hangout movies are those whose plot and camera work you may admire, but whose primary attraction is the characters. This is not quite the same as the character-driven film, nor the ensemble picture. Taxi Driver is not a hangout movie, nor is Spotlight. Mere length isn't enough to define a hangout picture either. Schindler's List decidedly does not qualify. Rather, the hangout film is characterized by a certain lightness of tone and, perhaps most crucially, a languid, almost meandering pace. The familiarity bred by the hangout film is that of the dorm room, the small high school class, or indeed the film crew. It arises not through action, but through downtime, the spaces in between events. So, yeah, it's... In other words, a movie where you feel like you get to hang out with the characters.
You're just hanging out with some of your favorite characters.
Yeah.
Low stakes.
I enjoy it. I love a good hangout movie. Those are oftentimes some of my favorite.
Yeah, and Drew, I'm kind of surprised that you came for Quentin like that, because I would take Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as a really solid hangout movie.
I would say that it feels more like I don't know, the revisionist history angle kind of overshadows the hangout portion of me, and I wouldn't say that looking back on it, I feel like I love and know those characters very well. It's also only two characters, and I typically think a hangout movie, like a true hangout movie, should be more ensemble, in my opinion. But
Interesting.
I can see that angle. I would say I feel like I know Cliff and Rick super well by the end of that
certainly.
movie.
Yeah, I would agree. I think I'm solidly on the fence here because I see what you're saying because it definitely has plot. It definitely is trying to revise history, correct history. I guess is a better way of saying it. But man, when Rick and Cliff are just watching his TV show and smoking pot and eating dinner, that shit's just.
Or
so
even
fun.
at the end before the Mansons show up,
them
hanging out and making fucking blended margaritas in the nighttime, hanging out with the dog.
I love when Cliff goes home after a long day of work and makes himself some mac and cheese and just watches TV with his dog.
True.
Yeah, I think it has some great hangout stuff in it. I consider it a hangout movie. I totally see what you're saying.
I can see that for sure.
I did try to limit myself when I made my little list of great hangout movies to things that weren't buddy movies, because I feel like most buddy movies could qualify, or a lot of buddy movies could qualify as hangout movies.
Can you give me a few examples of that? I'm curious.
Just really quickly, though, I would say another really good one from Tarantino is Jackie Brown. Have you seen that?
That is my favorite Tarantino.
I think that counts as a hangout film about as much as Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah,
but there's
agree.
some great stuff in there when Samuel Jackson's hanging out with Robert De Niro discussing when you absolutely positively need to kill every motherfucker in the room except no substitute.
Yeah.
A lot of good shit in there.
So
that big bong there smoking out the whole time, that weird thing. Yeah, I love it.
Feet.
All the feet. That's definitely that I feel like is more of almost a hangout because it takes a long time for that to.
See,
I guess
it kind of
meanders.
But yeah, it meanders a lot.
I would say that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is more of a hangout movie just because Jackie Brown, there is a very clear objective from pretty early on. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a little more, we're just following these characters through their day.
What story are we telling?
But So a couple of ones that I have on my little list here. I wanted to throw out This Is the End.
That's a good hangout.
Yeah,
That is-
that's a good one.
A movie largely predicated on hanging out with a group of guys stuck in one location.
Totally.
It's also just got a fucking world-class comedic performance from Danny McBride. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's really funny
so
in that.
good in that movie.
I know people don't like him right now, but I like Jonah Hill in that movie too.
Yeah,
He is good
funny.
in that.
Weed
That's
is-
another movie.
Weed is
that
tight.
has
Weed
a
is tight.
Massive cast in
Yeah.
that film. Incredible.
I've been talking a lot. Would somebody else like to throw
Michael
one out?
Cera getting the shit rocked by Rihanna.
That's
getting,
funny because he actually got the shit slapped out of him by Rihanna.
Yeah, that was legit.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. No.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
He asked her if he could really slap her ass, and she said only if I can actually slap your face. And when he slapped her ass, she rocked his fucking shit.
Love it.
Incredible.
Incredible.
Do the right
What
thing.
are some other ones? Do the Right Thing? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's a good hangout film for sure.
I feel like there's a
Yeah,
lot
it
of like
doesn't-
slow moments where you're just like kicking it with the characters and shit, you know, because it's so hot. People are just like trying to stay cool in the air conditioning. Then you got the guys who are like out on
Yeah.
the
What's
street,
that
like hanging
like?
out together, you know, the three
Yeah.
like older men or whatever, 3 or 4 older men.
Yeah. The Three Wise Men.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Recent years, mid '90s and Licorice Pizza have been two
Licorice
that I
Pizza,
absolutely
yeah.
love.
Mid 90s. Love mid 90s.
Yeah.
That was another one I wanted to say.
I haven't seen that yet.
Totally. Oh, it's
That's
so
the
good.
Jonah Hill.
Wait, so
Yeah.
everyone here is praising Jonah Hill. Why do you guys hate women?
I'm so sorry, but I really
Alexis.
liked mid 90s because I grew up with like, you know, having like skater kids as like friends. So like I found it like really relatable and like
It is a really good movie.
yeah, I really liked it. It was so leisurely too, you know. It really is like a hangout movie.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. One of my all-time favorites is The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite comedies. But that also, has a plot. But oh my god, did that movie meander?
Yeah.
And it just revels in human interaction, like just conversation. Like that's the best part of that movie. It's
Totally.
just people hanging out at a bowling alley.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie. You're out of your
Yeah,
element.
the crazy fucking, which seems improvised, but somehow is not. All of that is scripted. But yeah, Big Lebowski, all-timer for me.
Certainly.
Good pick. Good pick. Drew? What you got? What you got? What the fuck
What
you
else?
got?
I
What do
mean,
you got
most
going
early
on?
Kevin Smith, I really do think is good hangout fodder.
Yeah.
Like Clerks, I do think Chasing Amy has a lot of hangout vibes in it.
Mallrats. Is that what-
Mallrats,
yeah.
definitely.
A filmmaker who has made, I feel like, a lot of hangout movies is Richard Linklater. Like, Before Sunrise, while that is only 2 characters, I feel like is very much like a, slow-paced, dialogue-heavy hangout movie. And then the other one that I rewatched this week is Everybody Wants Some.
That what we were watching yesterday?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Everybody
I was
Wants Some is
really enjoying that.
like a movie set on the weekend before a college semester starts with a bunch of college baseball players hanging out in the house.
That's the ultimate hangout movie so far. I mean, that's all you're doing.
Yeah.
Just hanging out with these people.
And I had not revisited that since I played on a sports team in college and lived with dudes who I played with. And that movie is so true to life and just captures that vibe so perfectly. But you know what's another movie that pretty perfectly captures a vibe, and you just love hanging out with the characters, and dare I say, it might be one of the great hangout movies of all time. Well, that'd be Dazed and Confused, which is a 1993 teen comedy directed by Richard Linklater and starring a whole bunch of people.
Probably the best hangout movie I've ever seen. I haven't seen Everybody Wants Some, but I'd probably put it number one.
So
on
you're
my
a
list.
huge fan of this, right?
Fucking love this movie.
Okay, nice.
All timer, top 10.
Drew, would you say this is kind of in some ways, an inspiration on Flake and other scripts that you've written?
Definitely, yeah. And I feel like it captures the like I feel like it captures being in high school perfectly and getting back to your house really. Like the whole sequence of partying in the woods and then coming home and having your mom be like, I'll give you a hall pass, you know?
Right,
and then
yeah.
going and lying in your bed drunk and feeling like you're just like the king of the world. Like, I don't know. It captures this feeling that is so specific. And so, yeah, it's like perfect to me. Yeah.
That's true. That moment really resonated with me. I remember one time I was really, really hammered, came home in high school, and my mom was just kind of like looked at me, and she knew.
Totally.
And she just like, go to bed. She made me just like one slice of toast. She's like, you're going to need this. And I proceeded to then vomit it up, but I was very thankful that I did, in fact, have that toast. Totally. But yeah, I felt like that. I was like, oh, man. I got to pass. Like, I'm on top of the world right now.
Totally. It was awesome.
So, to run through the description of this movie really quick, this coming-of-age film follows the mayhem of group of... Jesus, fucking learn how to write, Google. This coming-of-age film follows the mayhem of group of rowdy teenagers in Austin, Texas.
That sounds right.
Celebrating the last day of high school in 1976. The graduating class heads for a popular pool hall and joins an impromptu keg party. However, star football player Randall Pink Floyd, Jason London, has promised to focus on the championship game and abstain from partying. That's not really what happened, but okay. Meanwhile, the incoming freshmen try to avoid being hazed by the seniors, most notably the sadistic bully Fred O'Banion, Ben Affleck.
Who is just transcendent in this movie.
Yeah, I told Zach yesterday, like, his pent-up, like, closeted gay energy that he has in this is just so
It's bananas.
brute to perfection.
Yes.
Yeah, this really does have, like, two pretty incredible breakout performances, because the other one, who I want to get it off the table right away, I want to talk about it, Matthew motherfucking McConaughey.
Yeah. He's very good in this.
Be a lot cooler if you did.
His whole persona is there. Like, it's already just fully formed. And he was just some, like, college student who...
was hanging around a bunch of high schoolers. And they're like, hey, you should be in this movie.
No, wait.
All right.
Isn't there a story where it was, like, the day before... shooting, they were like, Matthew McConaughey was in a bar with Richard Linklater, and like
it was
they still hadn't cast the role.
Casting director,
yeah, and he was just like being himself. Yeah.
Do we know who? Wait, it had not been cast, or it already was cast?
I don't think it had been cast, and I believe it was like a day or two before they shot. It's something insane.
Yeah, it was pretty close to shooting, and like the part of Wooderson was much smaller. A lot of this movie got rewritten during the shoot, and like just watching him on set, his part just kind of kept growing and growing in the movie because like everyone was like, there's something special happening here.
Did they shoot this chronologically? Because it seems like he's not in it at all, and then he shows up, and then it does kind of feel like he's like in it more and more and more. So it makes me wonder if they kind of shot this in order as they realized that Matthew McConaughey should be in this movie.
Be a lot cooler if you did.
God, I laughed so hard at that fucking line.
Time is a flat circle. Pass me the beat.
Watch the leather, man.
When he was like, I love those redheads. And I was all, you're so relatable.
Well, of course.
My dude.
You felt represented there?
I did. Because right before that, when she was picking out her hair, I was like, God damn it, I love redheads. And then here he goes.
Good Lord.
Alexa's like, God damn, I love redheads.
You know, nice part about high school girls. I keep getting older, they keep staying the same age. That's what Alexis was saying.
No,
My mom always said life was
so,
like
Alexis, why would you say that?
That was so triggering.
Why do you hate women?
Alexis, why did you say that?
Oh, man. No, no.
Well, I think it is just like a testament to how charismatic McConaughey is that, like, he says that line pretty early on, and you still kind of like him. Like,
yes, totally.
That's why I like him.
Oh, no, wait.
Like, finally, a character I can relate to.
No,
Wow.
Isolate that audio
For
and send
realsies.
it
To everybody.
to the police.
Yeah,
Get him out of here.
Tone.
Honestly, so this is the first time I'd seen it.
Really?
I know. This was one of those classics that I had somehow slept on.
Yeah, I hadn't
and
seen it until this year.
I realized upon watching it that there are so many lines in this film that I have been quoting that I didn't know it was just from this movie. It's incredible. Yeah, it's really, really good. I can totally see why it is famed for just being such a great vibe film.
Definitely.
It's a movie that coasts on vibes for sure. That you just get immediately swept into these characters because it captures youth so accurately, where you just immediately start putting yourselves in those situations. Like I remember getting completely squirted on with mustard and ketchup and oats and flour and eggs.
The girls hazing ritual.
Yeah,
It's brutal.
It is brutal.
Okay, so literally while that was going on, you know that meme that's like the guy with the butterfly? I was like, is this trauma?
It's so brutal.
Yeah, no, I was like, I had the thought, like, if I had been around for this, I probably would have unalived myself. Like, I would not have survived that shit.
Brutal.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Especially like Anthony Rapp's girlfriend in it, who they're like,
Oh, yeah.
What is it? Joey Lauren Adams. It's like, get on your knees. And it's like,
Yes, air raid.
Yeah.
Fucking Parker Posey in that.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Bitches.
She's a force of fucking nature. When she says, wipe that face off your head, bitch, I was like, ah.
So apparently,
That's another thing I've said. Didn't know it was from this movie.
Apparently, I wish
Rick's saying that all the time.
I wish you would stop saying
my
it to me. I wish you would stop saying it to me every morning when I get up. But apparently that's a line from some Brecht play that Parker Posey was in. That was
really?
it was a bad translation of some line in a Brecht play that she like hung on to and remembered. So that's a Parker Posey addition to this movie.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. I mean, Linklater, he talked, I watched some behind the scenes stuff for this yesterday. He's just talked like extensively about how much of the characters was brought by the actors.
That's
and
amazing.
like how much of the script was kind of edited throughout shooting and what a nightmare that made things for filming. Because they only had 36 days to shoot this. And apparently he was like fighting with I think his producer's name is James Jackson, who was like furious with him this entire time and was like, you've got to do this or we'll pull the plug. And Linklater talks about like, so Jim was like a wrestler, so I had kind of this plan that like if things came down to it, I'd kind of get out of his reach because he's a lot bigger than me, he's strong, but I'm quick, so I'd kind of dance like a butterfly, sting like a bee, and bah, bah, bah. Yeah.
Jesus.
No, he literally talks about like having a plan to physically fight his producer because
I feel like
things were
any good director should have that plan
Yeah.
in their back pocket. I mean, fucking
Coppola.
Coppola had a gun.
Did he really?
Oh, Apocalypse
he
Now.
was going to use it on himself, but it depended on who got to him first, the producer or his own feeling of self-hatred.
Jesus. Poor guy.
That's really dark.
Yeah. So
Things
for
that happened in that jungle.
Things that happened in his head.
Speaking of which, that was a
that's the
line.
jungle we're talking about.
That's a line from this movie I really loved, where the seniors like go on the intercom and are basically saying, we're going to kick the shit out of all you kids that are still in class, and the teacher is just sitting there smiling. He's like, yes, the hazing antics, and they're like, hey, can we like every moment we're in here we get closer to like danger, and he's like, hey, my sergeant.
I have the line written down. It's
Yeah.
like, my sergeant said this to me before we went, my battalion, before we went into the jungle. Men, 50 of you are leaving on a mission. 25 of you aren't coming back.
Yeah, and he just sits there
shit is
smiling.
so funny.
You love having a Vietnam vet as your math teacher.
Yeah, and then you have the exact opposite in the, what is it, history or English teacher, where she's just like, and when you're getting inundated with all this brouhaha this weekend, just remember the founding fathers were just men who didn't want to pay their taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
I love
you
that.
talked about Dazed and Confused. Just you talked about it being vibes.
Yes.
And I feel like when I think of Dazed and Confused, I think of that scene that it goes slow mo, like 20% slow mo for like 2 seconds. And it's Matthew McConaughey walking into the pool house while a Hurricane plays by Bob Dylan, and it like slows down. It's just like that's like an all-timer like movie moment that like fills you with energy, where your heart kind of starts racing. You're like, fuck yeah!
Oh my god,
The soundtrack's so good.
It's incredible. Talking about McConaughey's walk, this is one other thing I got from behind the scenes. He's like talking about finding Wooderson as a character, and he's like, hey, you know, that's kind of when you got me to figure out that I needed to find Wooderson's walk. And someone goes, what's his walk? And he's like, well, you know, some guys, I'll tell you this. He wasn't leading with his head, and he wasn't leading with his heart.
That makes so much sense.
That's a cock
He's
forward
leading
walk.
with his all right. Wow. That's interesting. Because, okay, you watch
I'm
theater
not
camp.
that guy, but I know that
In
guy.
theater camp, we would have this exercise where we have to choose like a part of our body to like really emphasize and kind of make a character out of it. We'd call it buckets. Like each part of your body's a bucket. Maybe you drop a bucket, maybe you lift one. So if Matthew McConaughey was playing that, his bucket muscle was
It's
front and center.
more of a fucking muscle.
Wow,
bucket was
interesting.
huge.
That's hilarious.
That's the biggest goddamn bucket I've ever seen. Killer soundtrack on this thing though.
This is the kind of fucking music that I love. Like just the classics. It's so good. You know what it reminded me of, which is also a really good hangout movie, is Almost Famous.
Ooh yeah.
These great hangout.
These two movies, I think they make a great double feature. Same era, same great music, great performances. Yeah, I really, really liked this. Really dug it. Alexis, you were going to say something about the music?
Oh yeah, any movie that has Fox on the Run by Sweet in it is just like automatically top tier. I think they have that in The Black Phone.
Maybe.
I love Black Phone.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, it's during the pinball sequence when that one kid's getting beating up a bunch of fucking people. The fucking so like when Lowrider's playing, it kind of almost feels like at that whole scene where you're going from car to car to car, it's almost like the Lowrider is like diegetic sound where it's playing on everybody's like radio at the same time. Yeah. So it feels like they're all kind of connected by this one like really cool moment.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. I've never thought about it like that, but that's very cool.
Yeah,
oh, man.
This movie really does like hit the adage that like music is the cheapest form of period like setting.
Oh, it's so effective though. I mean, that's something they do so well in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It honestly feels like a time travel film. It just puts you there.
Yeah,
the
definitely.
music.
What's on the radio?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in terms of a period piece, I would put this up there with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in regards to just how faithfully it captures 1976, right? That's the year?
Yeah.
I was amazed when I looked this up. I was like, oh, this had to have been made in like the mid-'80s, late 80s. This is early 90s. The cars are amazing. Like the amount of cars they have, and it's so period accurate. And then this movie gets an A+ on my very important, crucial thing you have to have in a period piece. The hair needs to be
We're getting
accurate.
into it. We're getting into the hair.
Yeah, the hair, especially of this era, it bugs me to no fucking end when you were in a movie that's like in the 70s or something and people have modern hair. It's it takes me out of it.
Yeah,
and so
R.I.P.
this,
to Anthony
it felt
Rapp's
like
hair.
it was the mid 70s.
Anthony Rapp has such fucking rough hair in this
Yeah,
movie.
it's
Yes.
so bad. Every time I looked at him, I was like, who did you like that, baby? Who did you like that? Who let you leave the house like that?
The 70s.
Man, Ben Affleck too. That is
Holy shit. He is so good in it.
He's
Like,
really
His
good.
little flippy hair.
yeah. Yeah, you really do love fucking seeing that dude get it because he's such a goddamn psycho. I'm sorry, ma'am. I was just escorting your fine son home. There's some ruffians about.
Dude, the mom with the shotgun is an icon. She is the moment. Oh my god.
Oh
Love that.
man.
You know Ben Affleck's character is going to be a cop in that town, right?
Oh, 100%.
no.
100%.
yeah, give him like 6 months.
Yeah.
As I was watching that, I was like, that's the future sheriff right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
He has the mentality for it.
A couple other things that felt like very true to high school. One was just teen boys thriving on destruction.
Totally.
The mailbox sequence took me back to a few evenings from my own life.
Oh, yeah.
I never really knocked over mailboxes, but there was definitely a night that I spent knocking over trash cans with a car door, which ended in me denting the shit out of my friend Hunter's car door by just whacking a trash can over with it.
Wow.
Yeah. His parents were surprisingly cool about that.
I remember one time I was in the back, very similar. I was in the back of a pickup truck with like 5 other boys, which was almost a horrendous accident because he's going like 40 miles an hour, and I was not expecting how quickly he was going to take a corner. But we were just throwing sandwiches at people.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's just like little sandwiches, nothing that could hurt anybody. But as we're just driving down the road, like we see somebody, like especially other classmates, we would just chuck sandwiches at their head.
Incredible.
Yeah, I was just like,
you
God.
absolutely have to. It's the only time in your life where you get to do that shit.
Yeah, because if I didn't do it, did I even live?
Yeah.
I was grounded for like 2 or 3 months because I did the same thing, Zach. I convinced my friend to hit a bunch of trash cans. We hit trash cans until 5 in the morning, and we fucked his mom's car up. And I was grounded for a long, long time.
Like
and
the
then
door was fucked up?
we didn't do the door thing. We just fully like would veer and hit the bumper on
You're
it.
the hitting trash can.
Yeah, and some of them were real full, and we had to do.
Some of them are real.
We had to have hit like 40 of those things.
There were some soupy trash cans.
Wow.
I also could have sworn I broke my hand hitting mailboxes with a baseball bat. I lost a baseball bat because I hit one so hard and the baseball bat flew out of my hand, and I was like, I'm pretty certain I broke every bone in my hand.
Wow.
What is
So I did a
wrong
lot of
with
that shit,
young
and I loved
boys?
it. Yes. Very proud of that time, actually. People are always like, don't you feel bad? I'm like, I'm very proud of that time.
Yeah, no, same. I feel like it's been downhill from here, quite frankly.
Exactly.
I'm just like, now I'm like going to therapy and I'm trying to learn how to be a better man. And why? Because society wants that? No.
I'm trying to learn how to hit mailboxes in here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hit those traumatic boxes.
One time I was at this fucking party and there wasn't a table long enough for beer pong, and we were at my friend's like grandma's house that we were always like having parties at, and the guys, like, their answer to our problem was, what if we just take off your grandma's bedroom door? And so
Wow. That's really smart.
She wasn't there, so it wasn't like we were disturbing her. But they literally removed the fucking hinges from the door, put the door on the table, and then played beer pong on the door.
Wow. That's just ingenuity right there.
Yeah, actually, it really was. It worked out really well. But we also used to play this game. Have you guys ever played like Wizard Staff?
Oh, yeah.
No.
I don't think.
I sure would like to, though.
Yeah, what
Are
is
you
that,
two
y'all?
kidding me?
What
Are
is
you
that?
two boys?
What's wizard staff?
Alexis, do it to him.
So like
to 'em.
every time you drink a beer and you finish it, you tape it to the last beer that you finished until you have like a staff basically of like taped together
interesting.
beer cans, and then you fucking
have
have
played
an
Wizard
all out
Staff.
like fucking melee fight.
Yes, yeah.
Melee fight?
Like MELE.
Melee?
Melee.
Melee,
Oh,
yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Melee.
Melee.
Tip of the morning.
Tip of the morning to you, Melee.
Tip of the morning.
Guys, it's too early. Fuck off.
The other thing that feels like very true to high school, which is something that I really don't see movies do that often, but I think like is an experience that is just like true to life. The nerds are kind of miserable pricks. Like the uncool kids, I understand why they are uncool because they're so fucking judgmental and miserable.
Yeah.
Like Anthony Rapp and oh my god, I'm blanking on his name.
The Jewish kid
Yeah, who gets in the fight at the
fight
end.
with Clint.
Oh, you're talking about
with the big hair.
I just want to dance. That
Adam Goldberg, Mike.
Yeah.
Adam Goldberg, yeah.
Mike Newhouse.
Yeah, the two of them are just like, seem like a fucking bad hang.
Where he wants to be
Yeah.
a lawyer, and he's like, actually, because I want to help people. Then I kind of realized, like, I was next to the people that are getting soup, and I was like, God, I don't like people. I don't really like people. Like, you guys are okay. What do you want to do? I want to dance. Which, that made me laugh.
It's tough because I agree that like the movie is very cool and takes this perspective of like these nerds aren't cool for a reason, and like here's the cool kids. But even by the end, after that kid starts to fight, I almost like him more because I'm like he did this because he knows he's not cool and he's trying to shake some shit up. And
I like nerds that engage in violence.
Yeah, for sure. They all should.
They should.
Under my supervision, they all will.
Yeah, exactly.
I really don't
We
like
will arm them.
I do not like the direction this is heading.
What is happening?
Do not arm.
Somebody, please get this man a gun.
No.
Holy shit. Guys, we are talking about Dazed and Confused, not Elephant. Jesus.
Bro.
Wow.
Guys, rope it in, guys.
It's a great hangout movie. You could make an argument that is a hangout movie until the last 20 minutes, because you do be following those kids doing nothing.
That's true.
I don't know that that's an argument you want to make.
Oh my god.
It's like if the hangout goes wrong in the last 20
Yes,
minutes.
exactly.
Bad hang.
Who else was like transported back to like grade school, middle school by the good game, good game, good game, good game, good game?
Totally.
That was the thing that Linklater had to fucking fight for. Like, they were like, there's no time on this day, and he was like, that is the essential thing. To me, that's what the scene is about.
Yeah.
Is that moment.
Yeah.
Because that like haunted me. I was transported back to my kid sports experience.
Totally.
Yeah, it was like every fucking soccer game ever where we were almost always losing. Good game, good game, good game, good game.
Good game, good game, good game, good game, good game.
Can we talk about...
By the way, I'm so sorry. Did you ever do this as kids? This is awful now, but kids were
Oh
stupid
my God,
kids.
no.
Good game, good game, good game would always end up being you're gay, you're gay, you're gay, you're gay.
Oh my god.
No,
I never did that.
Yeah,
No,
like
you're just a
Because I
homophobe.
played with
our
all
team would do
girls.
that. Our team would do
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I played with
Other
all
teams
girls.
would do
Nobody did that.
It would always end with both teams telling the other team they're gay. Yeah.
That might have. I feel
really
like that
mean,
was
Nick.
like.
Yeah, I know. It's awful.
Nick, you're like a fucked up
kind of a
guy.
bad person.
He was a
You should
jock
be
though.
careful.
You shouldn't
Weren't
have
you a
done
jock
that.
in high school?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
a bro.
Nick
No.
was a sweetie.
I became a bro senior year, but until then, I was firmly a obnoxious theater kid. So not a jock.
Wait, were
Yeah.
all of you like actually theater kids and you hung out with the theater kids?
I was the
I was
president
a theater
of my theater department.
Yeah,
I
same.
was.
Oh my god.
I was the president. of theater class.
I was the motherfucking theater kid at South Eugene High School. I ran that shit. And I ran it into the ground. I ran it into the dirt.
Wow.
I was the CEO of drama class, the commanding officer.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah,
not.
Robbie.
I was not a theater kid that. I was in
Yeah.
theater, but I did not hang out with any of the theater kids like really outside of theater.
They're awful.
I was an infamous theater character.
They're
Yeah.
nasty.
Infamous around
They
I
were
was
always
infamous,
fucking
yeah.
on the couch backstage.
every day of
Yes.
my life.
No, Drew was a.
Unironically, like every day of my life.
Yeah, no, I would like. My senior year, I basically left like almost every single other class I was enrolled in and went and hung out
At
in
drama.
the theater
Yeah.
area.
Yeah, same, dude.
Yeah. No. I would like.
I was that awful, insufferable one where I would almost always get the lead part. Like, it was just...
Well, it's because you're a star, and you shouldn't
Well,
ever apologize
Yeah,
for
that was me
I
and
know.
Sage, baby.
I was like, oh, there's a lead male part? Yeah, so I got that.
How's
What's everyone else
Hey,
doing?
how's bragging camp
What's
going?
everyone else doing?
What are you guys up to?
Wow. I love that this girl takes pliers to zip up her friend's jeans. I felt like that was very much a
Incredible.
moment.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, yes, girl, you put on those too tight jeans, you won't be able to breathe or drink in.
That was such a cool, timely moment, too, where you were like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure they did that all the
Because
time. back
they're
then.
real
Yeah.
jeans. They're vintage jeans. They have no give, you know? And also,
yeah.
as a girl, there are some outfits that are standing only outfits, and I just felt that was so relatable. I just love that.
Alexis, for you, went to public high school, right?
I did, yes.
Was there any, like, for the freshmen girls, was there ever, like, some serious, like, what felt like institutional hazing of the older girls and the newer girls? Anything like you saw in this film? Or not really?
No, I never saw anything like that, and I mean, I guess like the first year I kind of hung out with some like popular kids as well as like the emo and skater kids. Like I would go back and forth between these different groups during different lunches throughout the week. but I never
woman of
really
two
saw
worlds.
anything like that. But I think it would probably have been more common if I actually like hung out with any of the high school kids. I didn't live in the town. I lived like on the edge of the, anyways, doesn't matter. I didn't really hang out at high school much.
You lived in like a Edward Scissorhands style house on top of a hill, like surrounded by ravens and clouds.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
my
just to
mental
clarify,
picture- My
you know?
mental picture of your living situation is correct.
Yeah, well, so it was kind of like whoever rode our bus from our neighborhood, like we all kind of ended up hanging out together the last couple years of high school, and they were all fucking weird kids. I love them. Menaces to society.
So
Menace to society.
that's a movie I need to see. That's a movie I haven't seen. I've heard it's good.
Here's kind of an insane thing that I'm going to talk about myself for 2 seconds.
Talk about
That's okay.
yourself.
Please do.
Talk about
Yes.
When I was 19, I was so obsessed with Dazed and Confused that I wrote a Dazed and Confused pilot for a Dazed and Confused
really?
TV show adaptation.
Wow.
And then it turned into a weird kind of hangout movie that ended up being somewhat of a ripoff of Dazed and Confused. But the general idea was a very similar coterie of children, like Dazed and Confused, like upperclassmen and underclassmen and whatever. The older kids try to sneak the younger kids into a porno, and that's like the pilot. Is they
interesting.
try to get them into like a porno theater and
Yeah.
like see their first porno.
Oh, interesting.
And I was
I
like,
like
"Oh,
that
that's
actually.
kinda
I'd watch
funny."
that. Is it written? Like,
It's written
Paul
exactly
Rubens.
like
No, we can't get into this again. We cannot get into it with Paul Rubens again.
oh god.
I'm just, if you want to know the
Hashtag
situation.
Paul Rubens was right.
Oh my god, no. If you want to understand what we're talking about, you need to go back and listen to our Independence Day episode.
America
and
says
then you
this
need
isn't
to,
art.
Then you need to listen to our Mad Max Fury Road
My hand's
episode
gonna look this
and
small.
just kind of listen to me slowly die.
hell yeah. I would love to listen to that. So I will.
Boys will be boys.
No, Uncle Jack, men will be men.
Did you
men that
learn
act like
nothing
adults
from
now.
Barbie?
One moment in this movie that I think is so fucking funny is when Mitch goes in to buy the beers at the convenience store.
Oh, that's so
and right
funny.
before he does, the convenience store clerk goes, "Now remember, it's important for young mothers to have lots of calcium," to this woman,
Yes.
and then hands her like a 40 and a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah,
Like,
'cause she's
and then he goes, "See you tomorrow night."
Yeah, you can see the baby bump on
Yeah.
her. She's like getting a bottle of Jack and smoking. Yeah,
The
that was hilarious.
1970s, man.
God, and also when he gets the alcohol, it's like, "You're over 18, right?" "Yeah." "I just graduated." "Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, where are you going?" Like, that's all it took. He didn't need ID, nothing like that.
Yeah.
It was very funny.
He really played that off, though. He's just like, yeah, just, think about getting a job in town, put some extra money in my pocket. He's like, I hear
Yeah,
that.
literally. Says the same thing that Wooderson told him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because what you said when you read that definition of hangout movies, I can't get this out of my head, that you read that it was like emphasis on the characters over camera and whatnot. And I agree with that, but Dazed and Confused has some insane camera in it. I
Yes,
think.
it does.
Yeah.
Like when the foosball gets into the table and the camera is following the ball into it in a
Yes.
macro shot. Very cool.
Very
It
cool.
Did not need to do that, but
Yeah.
it's a very great way of bringing you into the scene.
Absolutely. Even that opening shot that's zooming in on the car slowly, moving around,
Yes.
and kind of glistening in the parking lot and stuff. Like,
Yeah, very cool.
it's got some really fun cameras.
Yeah, this movie does like a great job of setting the time period with its first two shots as well, because you get it might not be the immediate first two shots, but really early on you get that macro shot of the girl smoking the joint.
Yeah.
And then you also get, that shot of the car that you're talking about, like back to back. And that immediately just grounds you in the period.
Yeah, definitely.
Really cool. I really
Really
dig,
cool.
really dig it.
Also, that
man.
tracking shot of Wiley Wiggins as he is walking through the crowd in the forest. And it's like moving on his face and
Yeah.
he's walking through, and that's really immersive too. That makes me feel like I'm in his. Also, what a strange actor. What a bad performance that somehow doesn't take away from that movie at all for me.
The Mitch.
Mitch, Mr.
Interesting.
Grab the bridge of my nose and everything.
Funny. So I again watching the behind the scenes, he talked about how his proudest moment from this movie is the baseball scene.
Oh, yeah.
And looking like he can throw a baseball. Because apparently they had to bring a stunt actor in for this, and Richard Linklater.
Throw the baseball?
Yeah, because this kid just could not fucking throw a baseball, and Richard Linklater was like, well, I just assumed it'd be fine because every American boy has thrown a baseball at some point. And
Not this
I got
little
there,
weirdo.
and
Wow,
this
this little
kid
freak.
did not know what he was doing. Because I think Richard
So did a
Linklater.
stunt double throw the ball?
Yes, but he
No
was
shit.
talking about how listen, I need you to look like a killer in your eyes, and then we can make the rest work.
And he does with his hair kind of flopping around.
Yeah, it cuts together really
That's some
well.
killer hair,
Yeah. But it's just imagining Richard Linklater, who I think grew up as kind of a jock.
He seems to love baseball.
He
As a
grew up in
baseball fan.
Texas. Just going up to this kid and being like, all right, so just throw a baseball, and then slowly the realization sinking in that this child cannot throw a baseball for fucking shit.
I wish I could have been a fly on the wall for his reaction to that.
Just,
You're telling me you can't throw a baseball?
you're telling me what?
So
can you do,
So
Wowie?
Richard, there's a scene coming up where I ride a bike. I have a concern about that.
How do I ride a bike?
Ride a bike.
Wiley's more of
telling me you can't ride a bike or throw a baseball.
Wiley's more of an indoor kid.
Also,
Why?
this-
But can you grab the bridge of your nose every single line?
this
Oh, you can? Okay, thank God.
Richard, this scene where I talk to a girl, I'm a little worried about that. He had to have a stunt double just to interact with girl characters. Oh my god.
God, it's so fun to bully this child.
Yeah, we've
He's not
resorted
a
to
child
bullying.
anymore.
Well, he's a great example of he's not a very good actor, but fucking his presence overshadows it. He has such a good little vibe, I think. What a good little vibe on this kid. There's an island I went to in the 80s with a lot of good vibes there.
I really like him as a
my
character
God.
because I find him really relatable. I also was really
Totally.
young with a bunch of older friends. And so just
yes.
kind of pretending yeah, no, totally. I'm cool with whatever, I'm down for whatever. It was, I don't know. I thought it was adorable.
That's true. I also hung out with older kids too, which is I think that's kind of why I liked his character.
Yeah, that scene.
I could relate to his not being able to throw a baseball.
That scene. Yeah, I'm sure about
Or
it.
riding a bike.
Right.
Mick, we know.
The girl part though, that was weird. I could never have done that.
No, the scene that he has that I found really sweet and kind of took me back to my high school experience is the scene where after he gets hit with the paddle, Pink is nice to him, and he kind of has
Totally.
this older kid taking him under his wing.
Yeah.
Who did that to you?
They're always giving
not
him
you.
advice
You
on
bullied
the
Drew.
girls.
Bullied
I just
me.
did that. I just did the paddle part, and then I was like, "Get some other kid's wing, you freaking freak."
Yeah, Drew fucking bullied me. The first show I ever worked. Oh, Drew was a bully. Drew was a bully.
Definitely,
Drew,
yeah.
you were. But then I grew up to be a bully, so the cycle
Yeah.
continued.
Well, it's about how trauma just made
I was
us.
a bully, but I was also bullied. I was one of those middle of the road bullies that's taking it but then giving it.
Nick, that is exactly the type of bully I was. And it's really
exactly.
comforting to know there's other.
Yeah, no, looking back, I can totally see how, this kid was probably getting it from all sides.
Right,
all
yeah.
sides. I was Zach, and I was like, okay, I can finally release some
there's
of
a
this
target.
energy.
There's a target. There's a victim. But no, Joey Carlson. He was very, very nice to me. My first show that I really had a role in theater, and that took me back.
Well, I took Joey under my wing, so you're welcome.
Well,
I actually
you
did that
didn't,
for you.
but you didn't take me under your wing. You were just mean. You're mean. You're a bad guy, and I'm gonna make you live it down for the rest of your life.
Live it down.
Yeah,
You're gonna make me never live it down. I don't think
you're never gonna.
You're gonna get over it really fast.
No, no, I don't forgive.
During
I don't forgive.
the scene that I really enjoyed was what was his character say? Oh, Ron, with the beret and the very long hair, where he's talking about how
That's what I'm talking about,
George
man.
Washington comes home and Mrs. Washington just has a fat bowl, man, just waiting for him, man, that. I mean,
He
there's
was in
so
a cult
much shit.
that was about aliens,
There's
man.
so much stuff, they love the aliens, man, and there's so much stuff on the money, there's so many symbols, and it's green too. The money's green.
There's a lot of spooky stuff on $1,
Yeah.
man.
So as someone who was a stoner in high school, I have had I think I've had that conversation before, actually, and it so accurately depicts just stoner culture in high school.
Most
Even-
of the weed
really
I smoked
does.
in my life, I smoked in high school, and
Yes.
that totally hits.
I remember going into a very, very long-winded conversation about how, the only reason the weed's illegal, man, is because of the paper industry. It's all the stationary guys. Like they didn't want to use hemp, so they went with trees, man. And that's why we have lumber and we're destroying the forest, man. It's just like,
Dude, and that's when stoner comedy works the best. Is when whoever's doing it really believes
yeah,
it.
no,
and is
they're
really,
100%
Like
just
100% a conspiracy.
yes, vomiting this stuff that they believe to be just so true, and then you think it's like so empowering of it or whatever, but then you take a step back and you're like, God, I was fucking high.
Yeah, what the
Yeah.
fuck was I talking about?
That's so funny.
like,
I love that the through line of all like stoner speak is just like major conspiracy, because my friend used to watch like Ancient Aliens and shit, so she was always fucking talking about that shit.
Let me tell you what the program of choice was when I was stoned. It was Ancient Aliens. It was. It was that.
It's a stoner show.
Another thing about what's that character's name again?
Ron.
Something that Linklater brought up.
wait. The stoner guy,
Yeah,
Slater.
with the beret.
Is his name
Slater.
real name Ron?
Slater.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. His
Well, I
name's
must
Ron
have-
Slater. His name's Rory Cochran.
He is the dad in Oculus.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen Oculus. Is it
You would
good?
love it.
Yeah,
Okay.
very solid.
Yeah.
That's a horror film, right?
Yes.
Nice.
One of Flanagan's better ones, I
Let's
think.
let's talk about that movie.
Wait, that's
now.
a Flanagan film?
That is a Flanagan
Mike
film.
Flanagan
Wow.
himself.
Wow.
We need to get this train
Flanagan.
back on
Dude,
its
man.
tracks, guys.
Flanagan.
Flana now.
Well, get your asses
Flanagan.
back in the Mustang.
But something Linklater brought up about that character is that he had really wanted someone to be constantly saying, "That's what I'm talking about, man." Because apparently, like in the 70s, that was just like,
Hell yeah.
like a response to
Yeah.
anything. Like anyone would say anything, and then someone would go, "Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man."
Love that.
So
We all had like that major stoner friend, right?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
100%.
I had it. This guy reminded me of a guy I went to high school named Joe, who I remember during 4th
Joe
of
Mama,
July.
got you. Fuck you.
4th of July, we're all meeting up. We're like, hey, have you seen Joe? Like, he has the weed.
Joe Mama!
He has the weed, right? And so Joe just like out of the crowd comes towards us, and he has a bunch of soft serve ice cream, but just in his hand. Like, there's no cone, there's no bowl, there's no spoon, and he's just like eating it
Cones
out
are
of the
for
palm of
fascists,
his
man.
It's like hot during the summer. It's like, man, that's Joe right there. That's the stoner. That's such
Yeah.
a Joe thing.
We had
Okay.
what?
Oh, go ahead.
No. We had Reese, and he was actually, I think he was like a sophomore, but he was dating one of the senior girls, and he made the most, like, he liked baking, so he made the most delicious, like, Rice Krispie treats that were like, weed or like fucking fruit. He made like Fruit Loop bars, and then the last day of high school, he gave me and my friend like each a fucking cookie. And when I tell you, I have never been that high in my life or since. Like, I thought I was
God, it must
going
be in
to
high school.
black out while I was watching Pink Floyd's The Wall. Like, I was so fucking like out of this world. Oh man.
Yeah, there was this kid Jesse who gave me like a weed cookie, directing a show that I was in, and gave me this weed cookie before I went to go usher for another show. And I was like, well, I've done edibles before, but they've never really gotten me like crazy high, so I'm good. And I take it, and then I go and like, usher for the show, and then go sit down in the theater next to my friend Hunter. And Hunter looks over at me and he's like, yo, man, are you good? And I was like, yeah, why? And he's like, your eyes are bright red. And then I watched the first act of the play and like did not watch it but lived it. I was like so immersed, and then like I think I was technically supposed to help out with concessions during intermission.
Did you eat all of them?
But no, I just went into the dressing room and I was like, hey guys, I'm so high. I gotta hang out in here. I'm scared.
Nice.
You guys are doing a great job though, man.
Yeah.
Dude.
That is awesome. That's the best thing about weed is being immersed in media.
Yeah.
Yes,
Speak.
absolutely. It just makes everything better. Music better, TV better.
Which I almost feel like I'm doing myself a disservice because recently I've been getting just ripped every time I go to the movie theater, and I've been like, maybe I need to like do that.
I
I'm
guess.
going to see Oppenheimer Stone today, and I'm a little nervous.
Are you going to see it Stone?
I think I am.
Oh, interesting.
Is that a little scary? Is that
Good
a little
luck,
risky?
buddy. You might be scared.
Yeah.
I was afraid
The
gave me a panic attack and I
score
was
is
high,
like-
but I also kind of liked it. And Bo was afraid when he got to his mom's house, the second edible I took was hitting really hard, and I was like, what the fuck am I about to see here?
That's
And
an
I got
awful
so scared.
moment to be really high.
Yeah, it was like during the
seen
sex scene, and she like froze, and I was like, "Oh, I'm
shit-
having a hard time."
See,
but
I was really high when I watched that, but just high from being tired because I was having jet lag when I saw that with you
nice.
guys. So I was kind of delirious, and that also I had just kind of woken
you were at the
up.
theater with me. We
Yeah.
were at the same theater.
Yes, we were, and I had kind of like come out of it.
I wasn't there.
That was,
Think about how many people out there are like smoking weed right now,
Oh,
man.
man, yeah.
Like what, man?
But when I was coming out of like my short nap, was that scene where Parker Posey gets like frozen in cum
Yes.
kind of thing.
Oh my god.
And I was like, what the fuck is this? It was very disturbing.
Alexis, have you seen Bo is Afraid?
No. What the fuck is it going? No.
Absolute
Good-
terrifying movie.
Good Parker Posey performance.
I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't know Parker Posey. I thought you were talking about the movie for a minute, and then I was like, what? When did she get covered?
No, we are not talking about the movie that we are supposed to be talking about. We
yeah.
are not talking about it right now.
Speaking of being zooted at the movies, I was having a bad night, so I took not just my usual one edible before bed, but I took two. So when we got to the
man.
party,
Drop the
when we
charts.
got to the party scene in Dazed and Confused last night, I was fucking zooted out of my head. I was just like laying there, and I was like, "Damn, this hella real. Like this hella real."
I am dazed and also confused.
Destroyer of
Destroyer of my evening.
When fucking Matthew McConaughey's character like hits on the redhead, remember how I was like, oh, I love redheads, and then he's like, I love redheads, and then she has this moment of like, yeah, you know, I don't know, I'm like still kind of flattered. I was like, that's hella real though, because like I experienced the same thing where it's like, hey man, when an older guy likes you, even though you know like this is probably not appropriate, it's very flattering for some reason. It's just because you don't know better.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure. I remember at the time being like, when I was, in high school. There were a lot of, chicks I knew who were like dating and hooking up with like older dudes, like Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time being like, it was kind of weird, but it wasn't crazy weird. And everybody was kind of like, oh, that's a little odd, but everybody was kind of with it. But then obviously you get to that age and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
But, like,
people like
that movie
hella
does a great
downplay
job
it at
of
the time. But then like once
Yeah.
you get to that age, you're like, why would anybody want to date a high schooler at this age? Like,
Yeah,
what the
I know.
fuck?
I don't want to talk to a high schooler.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
ever.
no, when I do, it's not fun. Like, when you have young actors as like background and shit, and they're just, when you listen to how they talk, it makes me angry.
I don't want to hear any
Okay,
more of that.
boomer.
Yeah, no, it's like an old man yelling at the
I
cloud.
don't want to hear any more of that rabble.
See, that's why I'm firmly into the older women, because this movie's a good example of why they just don't work.
Oh
They don't
my
work.
god. Yeah.
I'm
the-
so glad. Thank you for coming out against dating high schoolers, Mick. I'm proud of you.
Well,
Somebody had to.
we
need to have
really
a song
needed
about
it
how we
on the
don't
record.
get
Like,
you know,
I'm
once
still
and for
not
all.
convinced, but I'm willing to hear you out.
Alexis, you seemed
doth
like
protest
you,
too much.
You seemed like you had an
Does anyone else really not like high
Oh
school
my
kids?
god, shut the fuck up!
Just me?
Alexis, you seemed like you had an actual point.
Fuck you, Zach. That was an actual point.
The fucking football scene at the end where Matthew McConaughey's character is just like doing all this fucking like wrestling, and then some guy's just like, dude, come on, I was sleeping. Super there's always like those last two people who are just being rowdy as fuck and just pissing everyone off.
It's
And
often
the truth
me.
of and the truth of ending at the football field, your high school football field, is a very that rings really true to me. That was where a lot of nights ended for me, going back to the field and hanging out on the field.
Yeah, for
Come
me
get
it was
my third wind. Let's get on out of here.
My third wind.
It was a middle school near my place for me because like I lived closer to Spencer Butte, but yeah, it was very similar vibes.
Yeah.
Go out on the football field, smoke a joint at the end of the night.
And there's something kind of somebody says something that's a little like it's drug fueled, but it's kind of meaningful and like you kind of have a little heartfelt moment.
Yeah,
That camera
you have some
moving around
character
pink.
development.
Yeah. The camera moving around pink while the dude in the back is like, "Well, I was stuck in this place" or whatever he's saying, and
yeah.
movie like that, like moment, like makes me cry, even though it's so stupid. Like,
I love having some character development, man.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's funny, you look back on those 4 or 5 a.m. conversations you used to have with friends after being up all night, and you do I remember having those moments of like, God, this does kind of feel special.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This does feel like character development a little bit.
this feels like one of the things that matters.
Yes.
You know
There's
what I mean?
something
It does. It
special
really
about
does.
being the last like few people awake and then the sun's coming up and shit and you're just like on the back
Yeah.
porch, it's nice and cool. There's a little dew point,
Whole life ahead of you.
Yeah, I just feel like the intensity of, I guess this is maybe why, high school can provide like a valuable setting for a movie, is like your emotions are never closer to the surface than they are when you're that age.
And also something that's so powerful about movies is a lot of the best ones explore what it means to be human. And so much of that age is finding out what it means to be you and finding your identity through, emphasis on trial and tribulations and stuff like that. That's a good point. That's why this is because something that we've talked about, the three of us, is why Back to School Month. I mean, there's so many movies that are about this point in your life of being in school, finding yourself, the relationships with people. It's almost endless. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And this is a really great story. I have to say, again, I'm really glad I watched it. I've been meaning to watch it for years, and I can see why it's a classic.
Oh yeah, this is one of my favorite first time watches of this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks,
right, because
Drew.
you saw it for the first time.
Yeah, Drew showed it to me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
It's my birthday movie.
Yeah.
Birthday movie?
Yeah. I
Nice.
love that movie. What was I going to say? I was also going to say that I feel like hangout movies, I'm curious what you guys think, but I feel like, I'm not sure if you're trying to wrap it up or not, but I feel like hangout movies are like slice of life movies at the same time.
Yeah.
Like they can kind of
Absolutely.
go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And I wonder if, is there ever been a hangout movie that isn't a slice of life movie? And has there ever been
Is Wet Hot American Summer a slice of life? Because I
really good
do
point.
think that's a hangout movie.
I don't think so, because it's satire.
I agree, yeah.
But it is a hangout film.
I agree
It's
with
a
that.
hangout film, but
But I would not consider it a slice of life
No.
because my life has never been like that, and no one's had.
it's a slice of a
Drew.
life.
Yeah.
Do you watch anime?
Me?
Yeah.
I do. I watch some anime. I mean, I grew up with like Naruto and
Again,
Okay.
this is
I was
not
just
a
wondering
visual
'cause,
medium.
Like, slice of life is just such it's usually used towards that, so I was just wondering.
Oh, really? Interesting.
I've heard slice of life used outside. I'm not an anime person, and I've heard slice of life used a lot. I've heard it used to
it's-
describe plays.
It's very
I would definitely
specifically a subgenre of manga that you can like check out.
okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Which means that it's also a subgenre of anime.
You know what's a good slice of life film that I don't know if it is like a hangout movie, but have y'all seen The Last Picture Show?
No.
No.
With Jeff Bridges, a very, very young Jeff Bridges and Danny Quaid.
No.
It's very good. It's a movie that Soderbergh has referenced. It's like one of the best ever, and I checked it out because of him. That's another that I think could count as like a back to school movie, maybe, or it might just take place over the summer. But it's about high school kids in Texas.
I do
Go
count
ahead.
it as a high school movie. Yeah, it's on my list. So
Okay, yeah, really, really good, and that's another movie that's just so good about finding yourself, and really what that means is finding your sexuality, because that's, let's be honest, so much of what is like, what character is like looking out along like the town. It's like, can you think about like how many people are like having sex right now?
Yeah, how many people out there are fucking right now? That's
There was always
my
that
God,
guy.
Slater, yeah.
There's always that guy that was just so obsessed with sex, but like had no game. at all. Like,
Yeah, and it was
that's
like, you don't know what
all-
you're saying
Yeah,
right
you
now.
don't know what you're saying. Like, that's all they could think. I'm just talking about myself in the third person at this point. Let's be real. But I thought that was very accurate to that of just like, God.
Although I
man, there's so many people fucking right now.
I definitely had a friend who was every time she talked about sex, it was always like, his dick was so big. It was like 9-10 inches. And every time she said that, I was always like, why would anyone want a dick that big? They look disgusting. and that just seems too big. God.
That is too big.
Well, now I
Sorry,
feel bad.
Mick just got distracted thinking about a dick that's 9 or 10 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do know why you would want it that big. It's not,
I need too big for some of us, but not others.
Yeah, not others. Like some people.
Would you relax?
Oh my God.
You know what else is a really good slice of life movie, but it's not a hangout movie, and you could argue it kind of is a back to school movie? Halloween.
Ooh, yeah.
Interesting.
Scream's another one.
Yes, well,
Totally.
Scream for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I'm thinking we might need to.
let's wrap it up, guys.
Yeah, we'll wrap this bad boy up.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
Yeah, this was fun. Sorry, Drew, that the whole mic situation's been so awful. It was
that's
great
okay.
having you here.
Yeah, Drew, let's, any closing thoughts on Dazed and Confused, buddy? This is, again, this is a movie that I was exposed to because of you, so.
Oh man, no! I mean, it was just the one of the absolute best to ever do it, all-time classic. And yeah, check my movie American Flake out in a year's time. It's
You're
got a lot of
goddamn
days
right.
in
Yeah,
it.
coming to a theater near you.
Indeed.
Drew, do you have any casting announcements? Anything that might be going on? Anybody who might be in the movie?
Yeah, Zach is playing our. We're gonna shave Zach's head, give him a pair of gold grills and some dark bags under his eyes, and he's
Hell
playing the
fucking
closest thing
yeah.
the movie has to a villain. Yeah.
And, again, this isn't a visual medium, but that's actually almost exactly what I look like already.
Totally. Yeah. It looks real scary.
Yeah, I don't look good. I don't look. All joking aside, Drew's looking good. I'm looking like shit. I'm looking
Drew,
bad.
you are
I'm
looking good, man.
I'm looking
Thank you.
sickly.
Looking good,
You've
man.
been
Appreciate that.
looking good lately.
Thank you.
And I don't know what Zach meant by saying you look like you enjoy anime. I don't know.
I don't know what he meant by that either.
It's because he's
but he's
sweaty.
right.
I don't know what he
It's the
means, but I
fact-
feel it.
You all look like you watch anime because you're all white. You don't get much sun.
We're all white and we're all
it's true.
sweaty.
Yeah, sweaty white boys watching their anime.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Dazed and Confused. Good movie.
It's a good movie.
Glad we talked
it's
about
a
it.
Weird. Okay. We haven't talked about this yet. Not a big deal, but it's a weird fucking choice to have this start back to school month because it's literally the last day of school.
Well, you know,
Like,
we're
the
working
movie's like,
backwards.
and the last day. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess it's the end of school now
You know why we're doing it, Mick?
because it's a
It's a temporal pincer movement, baby. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So what are we talking about? What are we talking about next? What are we talking about
Yeah,
next?
what? Honestly, I genuinely don't know. Like, what-
Alexis, you got a pick for next?
yeah.
No, I don't.
All right.
Load up the cannon and fire it across the bow. What are we doing?
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna make a choice
Okay.
right now off of my list of 12 movies that I have.
Make it good.
And we're just gonna go for it. And that is going to be Peggy Sue Got Married.
Oh, okay. I've never
Okay.
seen it.
I have never seen it either, but I want to because it is a Francis Ford Coppola movie that I
Oh, is
haven't
it?
seen from 1986.
Oh, cool.
And it stars Kathleen Turner and our boy, Nick Cage.
Oh, does it?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, we are going to be watching Peggy Sue Got Married, and if you want to watch it, you can rent it on Prime Video or YouTube. And, yeah, if you want to find us, the Film Majors, on social media, you can find us at Film Majors Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. And if you want to shoot us an email, tell us what your thoughts are. What was your high school experience like? Did you bully anybody? Drew did. You can email us at filmmajorspod@gmail.com. Okay, let's get the fuck out of here before this mic explodes
Yeah.
again.